Sabbath after Sabbath, going to stand up and face Jerusalem.
Forever, O Lord.
Forever, O Lord.
Thy word is settled in heaven.
Thy word is settled in heaven.
Thy faithfulness is unto all generations.
Thy faithfulness is unto all generations.
Thou hast established the earth, and it abideth.
Thou hast established the earth and abide.
They continue this day according to thine ordinance.
They continue this day according to thy ordinance.
For all of thy servants.
For all thy servants.
Unless thy law had been my delight,
Unless thy law had been my delight,
I should have then perished in mine affliction.
I should have then perished in mine affliction.
I just read Psalm 119, verse 89 through 92. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading of the word. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
After Sabbath,
After Sabbath, brother.
Today we're going to do a lesson called Lovers of Pleasure Despiseth the Word, but the lovers of God's law shall be rewarded. We're just talking about two different sections. You on this side like Moses did in Mount Sinai, right?
Right.
You on this side or you on this side? And you don't want to be rewarded. You don't want to be despise the word and live off pleasures all through the week and all through your days. Like they said, you just getting by. You're not getting away with nothing. You know what I mean? So this is pretty much what this lesson is about. It's a little short. We got a little some long verses off in there. So we're just going to go into it right away. We're going to pick it up in Proverbs 13 and 13. This is where pretty much I got the title from to teach on this lesson. Go ahead, brother.
Whoso despises the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded.
So who despises the word shall be destroyed. So when you come into this truth, or when you come into seeking this God, you have to make a choice. You got to leave your old you alone, and and get up on the train and ride it. You know what I mean? Or die to death, pretty much. You don't want to die to death not getting this reward. You want to die to death with the reward. That way, when Jesus comes at his second coming, he's going to judge everybody according to their works. And you want to be on the right side of getting your reward and not despising the word. You know what I mean? Because that has no power, correct?
Right.
All right, so that's pretty much, whoso despises the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. Now let's go to 2 Timothy 3. I don't make it too long, but I'm going to try to skip through here because this is real important lesson. It's like pretty much what Brother Marlon said, wherever the shoe fly and hit, that's where it's going to land, And we all can be guilty of some things, and we all can be working on some things. So 2 Timothy 3 and 1. Go ahead, brother.
This note also that in the last days, perilous times shall come.
Now, perilous times mean danger. So in the last days, you will have perilous times. And that's what you're seeing right now. You see it all over the world. You turn on the news, it's just everywhere. You know what I mean? And it's, danger is coming more frequently. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, pride, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy.
Unthankful and unholy. And them are two key words right there, you know what I mean? Because men going to be lovers of their own selves. They're gonna will their own doctrine. This means men and women. When they say men, you know what I mean? Mankind. You know what I mean? So read that again, Matt.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
They're going to be lovers of their own selves. Go ahead.
Covetous.
Yes, sir.
Boasters.
Yeah.
Pride. Blasphemers. Disobedience to parents. Unthankful. Unholy.
Go ahead.
Without natural affection. Truce breakers. False accusers. Incontinent. Fierce. Despises those that are good.
Yeah, see, you're going to despise those that is good. Because whenever you're willing something good, and you be around a certain amount of people, they gonna try to put you down like they the gangsters or something. You know what I mean? Like they high-minded. So you coming with this truth and they looking down on you like, oh man, nobody want to hear that. You know what I mean? And that's what the book telling what's gonna happen. It's gonna be fierce despisers of those that are good. They're gonna despise you because you're good, but not knowing you willing the truth. And the God is on your side. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is on your side. So therefore, if you go against you with the truth, that's dangerous when they coming up on, ain't it? Because you're a child of God. Not these people walking around with this book knocking on the doors. You know what I mean? They're not wielding nothing but a doctrine. You know what I mean? So go ahead.
Traitors,
Yeah.
heady, high-minded,
Yeah.
lovers of pleasure more than
Hold
lovers
up.
of God.
Lovers of what?
Lovers of pleasure more than lovers
One more
of God.
time.
Lovers of pleasure more than lovers of
Lovers
God.
of pleasure more than lovers of God. Oh, they love to kick it, man. All through the week, they love their pleasure. They love their pleasure more than they love their God, don't they? Monday through, I guess I'll say Sunday through Friday, it's just straight pleasure. Up, here comes that Sabbath day.
Right.
I better get back holy again. You know what I mean? Put on my tie, whatever. Well, we ain't gonna put on no tie, you know, and everything. That's pretty much a Sunday church. But ain't nothing wrong with a tie. It ain't evil. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? You get that from the Sunday church pretty much. You know what I mean? So go ahead and read that one more time, man.
Traitors,
Yeah.
heady,
Yeah.
high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God.
Lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. All right, go ahead.
Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away.
And see, you have a form of godliness. You know what I mean? Everybody got a right to this tree of life. But what do you do whenever it come to you? You turn away. You ain't trying to hear it no more. Go ahead.
For of this sort are they which creep into houses, lead captive silly women,
Yes, sir.
laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts.
And they're just being living of the world. You know what I mean? You led away living of the world, thinking you're doing it for the true and living God. Go ahead. And this is what they're doing every time. Go ahead.
Ever learning.
They ever learning.
Never.
Always trying to get this truth. They always learning when you see them. And yeah, I'm studying. Yeah, I'm doing this. I'm doing it. So say it again, man.
Ever learning.
Ever learning.
And never able. to
And
come
never
to-
able.
To the knowledge of the truth.
And they never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. So they ever learning, never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. So you're going to always be been taught this thing, always been taught this thing, but you can't come to the knowledge of it, of the truth. Because you always learning. Oh, man, I'm still in it, man. Yeah. 2 years later, I'm still in it, ever learning. But never can come to the knowledge of it. You're supposed to know this. If you learn it, it ain't.
Yes, sir.
You're supposed to know what's going on in this book. So you can't be ever learning about this truth. You're supposed to be knowing what's happening in the truth. There shouldn't be no excuse. You know what I mean? So go ahead. That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, we're going to go to Jude, book right before Revelations. Because if you don't have the Spirit, then you can't move forward with this thing. In order for you to have the Spirit, you got to know what you're talking about, and you got to know what's in this book. And you got to know who's teaching you and what you studying when you're online. Because you can get knocked out of position real quick if you don't have no understanding. How does God operate? You got to know how does God operate. If you don't know how does God operate, you're going to come up with your own doctrine. And you can't do that. Or your own feeling about things. And the way you do that is you study and knowing what's in this book. So you got to have the Spirit in this thing. So let's go to Jude 1, where it's only one chapter. So we just go to Jude 14. Jude 14 through 19. Go ahead, brother.
And Enoch,
Yeah.
also the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord come with 10,000 of his saints.
We know the Lord ain't came with 10,000 with saints yet, ain't it? That's end time prophecy, ain't it? So, go ahead.
To execute judgment upon all,
Yes, sir.
and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds, which they have ungodly committed.
So that's what he coming to do. He coming to execute judgment upon all people that's ungodly, that committed ungodly deeds. But see, they don't talk about sweet Jesus coming back, do they? They don't talk about that. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
And of all their hard speeches, which ungodly sinners have spoken against him.
That's hard speeches. Blaspheming, cussing, doing this. It depends. If OG Thug is right there, then I'm in the truth supposedly. Or I'm around this certain group, so I'm going to cuss a little bit. Oh, they go homeboy from church, so now I'm back a saint on Tuesday. You know what I mean? So it's just a flip-flop thing, and you can't do this. You know what I mean? You can't be pleasures that despite the word. You got to be lovers of God's laws and be rewarded. Now go ahead.
These are murmurers,
Yeah.
complainers,
Yeah.
walking after their own lust,
Walking after what?
their own lust,
They own lust. Go ahead.
and their mouth speaking great swelling words.
Yeah.
Because having men's persons in admiration because of advantage.
Yeah, they take advantage of their situation they're in, so they use that for their advantage. Go ahead.
But beloved, remember ye the words which were spoken before of the apostles of our Lord Jesus Christ, how that they told you there should be mockers in the last time who should walk after their own ungodly lust. These be they who separate themselves sensual, having not the Spirit.
Having not the Spirit. And see, that's what I was saying. You got to have the Spirit. Because 18 says, how that they told you there should be mockers in the last days. See, evil going to wax worse and worse, ain't it? Yep. So they mockers in the last days, right? Who should walk after their own ungodly lust. They're going to come up with their own doctrine. They got to wield it to make it fit them. That way they ain't got to listen to you or this doctrine that you wield it. You know what I mean? But see, you got to be studied up to understand that they showing you now, hey, you ain't speaking truth to me. You know what I mean? But if you're not studied up, I can just bring you anything and you're going to follow it, ain't you? Because if I throw some scriptures out, you're going to be like, man, that man know that book. That's what they do in the Sunday church, don't they? They'll throw some scriptures out and you lost. You know what I mean? You can't, and you got to understand what's going on. So that's why having not the Spirit, you got to have the Spirit that's in verse 19. You know what I mean? They separate themselves, sensual, having not the Spirit. All right? Now, where we at now? Romans 6, let's go to Romans. You got to be keepers of the law. What I'm saying, people. You got to be keepers of this law and don't play around with it, or you're going to pay the debt. And the debt is paying the price of eternal damnation. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. You can't come on Sabbath day, and you know, and this is for the people online as well. You know, that's why I want to do this lesson. I see a lot of stuff on social media and whatnot. You can't come on Sabbath day, and this is the ones in the truth, and be holy. But once Sabbath day fall off, you don't have no understanding about nothing. You understand? It ain't saying you can't do your pleasures, because the Lord tell you you can do your pleasures, right?
6 days.
Yeah, 6 days you can do your pleasures, but you got to understand, you got to walk like a soldier of God while you're doing your pleasures. You know what I mean? That way it won't be no confusion. All right? Romans 6 and 14. Papa, you can't get the Papa right now. Romans 6:14. Go ahead, Brother Matt.
For sin shall not have dominion over you, for you are not under the law, but under grace.
That's true.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? Even though they use it to not do the law,
yeah.
But this true thing.
That's right.
Because if you're willing the truth of God, you're not under the law, you're under grace.
That's right.
Because why? Because you're a keeper of the law. So therefore, if you're a keeper of the law, you're not under the law. Right. It's just that simple. Go ahead, brother.
What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? God forbid.
God forbid. You just can't sin because you're up under grace.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So now, go ahead. Here go the kicker.
Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey.
Now, what is that talking about?
Whatever you obey.
It's whatever you obey, don't it? Right. So if I'm sitting here and I'm going 6 days a week hard, doing my pleasures, and then this one day doing this God, who you obeying? Who your master?
Yeah.
The pleasure. The pleasure is your master. So read it again, that way they can get better understanding, man.
Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey.
So you yield yourself servants to obey this. What table do you eat from? You know what I mean? Is it the pleasure or is it your God? Right. You know what I mean? And the one you feed the most is the one you're going to know about. You know what I mean? So go ahead and read it one more time, man.
Know ye not
yeah.
that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey,
yeah.
his servants ye are to whom ye obey.
Yeah.
Whether of sin
or death,
or obedience
unto righteousness. It's up to you. What table do you eat from? That's pretty much what it's saying, right? Go ahead.
But God be thanked that ye were servants of sin, but ye have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered to you.
We are all servants of sin, wasn't it?
Right.
But what delivers us? That form of doctrine that we believed in, right? So we try to take, we're hoping for salvation, to take the laws and be rewarded. Right? All right, go ahead.
Being then made free from sin.
Being made free from sin. Now we're not under law no more.
Right.
We're under grace.
Yep.
Now we understand this, don't we? Go ahead.
Ye became servants of righteousness.
We became servants of righteousness. All right. With that being said, let's go to Galatians, because you know they'll go here too, but Galatians 5. Just turn it over a couple of books. You got to be led by the Spirit when you deal with this God. I tell you, when you come into this, understanding on precepts and understanding Israel as a people and understand that they willing the doctrine, you just summons the true and living God. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't understand that. So everything starts falling around you if you're not careful. But You don't want to pay attention to see why is it following around me. No, you know why. Because you didn't summon the true and living God. You didn't came up in a place where the true and living God dwelled at. It ain't on no Sunday block. You know what I mean? So Galatians 5 and 15, you got to be led by the Spirit. That's what I'm saying. Galatians 5 and 15, go ahead, man.
But if ye bite and devour one another,
Yeah.
take heed that ye be not consumed one of another.
Hey, that's what they do on social media, ain't it?
Yeah.
You can't tell who is who. You come in here and get the truth, go on social media, about Tuesday, you knocked out of the truth. Because, see, they just biting each other, fighting each other, doing this, but nobody's holding the truth. Go ahead, man.
This I say then, walk in the Spirit,
Walk in the Spirit.
and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh.
See, if you walk in the Spirit, that's that table I was telling you eating from. If you eat from this table, you ain't going to have that lust in your mind. You don't understand that? Go ahead.
For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit,
The flesh lusteth against the Spirit. Go ahead.
and the Spirit against the flesh.
And they fighting each other. And the Spirit against the flesh. Right? Hold on. You got to get some control. Baby on the loose, baby on the loose. Sound the alarm, baby on the loose. And I wanted to get this point right here. And I want everybody to really hear this point instead of have... All right, go ahead. Go up one verse, man.
Start at 16.
Start at 16. We had Galatians 5 and 16. Galatians 5 and 16. Go ahead, brother.
This I say then, walk in the Spirit,
Walk in the Spirit. Go
and
ahead.
ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh.
And you should not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Go ahead.
For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit,
Right.
and the Spirit against the flesh.
Go ahead.
And these are contrary, the one to the other, so that you could not do the things that you would.
So that's what they doing. They fighting each other.
Right.
Right? The flesh lusts against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. That's the table I was telling y'all. That you gotta eat from one of them. And they fight each other. They do this truth, man. No, I'm hanging out with the homies today, man. You better do this truth. No, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. All right, go ahead.
But if ye be led of the Spirit,
Yeah.
ye are not under the law.
See, if you led under the Spirit, you ain't under the law. Like they always use that stop sign, though.
Yeah.
You stop at that stop sign, you're not under the law. But if you go through it, you under the law.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 19. The works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery,
Go ahead.
fornication,
Yes, sir.
uncleanness, lasciviousness,
Yeah.
idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulation, wrath, strife, sedition, heresy, envy, murder, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God.
Hold up. Now, this is Paul. Who is he talking?
He just told you.
Now, this is in Galatians. This is past Old Testament and New Testament. He pretty much named the commandments.
Yeah,
And he told you, I told you this in past times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But where did he get it from? He got it from the book of the law, ain't it?
That's right.
And which is what? The 5 books of Moses, so-called. You know what I mean? All right, go ahead.
But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And they that are Christ have crucified the flesh with affection and lust. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit.
Yes, sir. See, I got to know where you're walking from. Now, if I see you, now, it says in 22, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, and faith. Now, you see me, and you may be thinking I'm weak or something. You know what I mean? 'Cause don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? Because see, I got this love. I'm loving you, brother. You my brother. It's all good. You know what I mean? But see, people take advantage of that. You know what I mean? And they're going to try to take advantage of that. But you let the Lord worry about them. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Let us not be desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another.
Envying one another. Let them do the provoking.
That's right.
Let them do the envying. You just keep your head up because you're a soldier for the Lord. And they can't get this twisted. You're going to protect your family and you're a soldier for the Lord. You ain't no pushover. You're just going to keep the Lord's commandments. You know what I mean? And chop up anybody else that says otherwise. And what I mean by chop up, you're going to let the word take them out. The word is a two-edged sword. You know what I mean? And who is the Word? That's Jesus, ain't it?
That's right.
And he come to do his Father's business, ain't it?
That's right.
You know what I mean? So, with that being said, I think it's
Genesis.
Is Genesis 4?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, hold up.
Oh, yeah.
I had added this. Let's go to Romans 8. Because I'm still with these two minds battling each other. So I'm just,
Spirit and the flesh.
yeah, spirit and flesh, you know what I mean? So you got a carnal mind, these two minds battling each other. You got a carnal mind, you got a spiritual mind, right? So let's go to Romans 8. I had took this out, but I'm going to put it back in. Because Galatians told us right now, you know, they fight against each other, right? So this will give you a better understanding on what's going on. It's almost like oil and water. They can't mix, can
Right.
they? Oil going to flow to the top and separate itself, ain't
Right.
it? So Romans 8, we're going to read 5 through 7. So Romans 8 and verse 5. Go ahead, brother.
For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh.
See, they that are after the flesh, they do the minds of things of the flesh. That's what you're going to do. Go ahead.
But they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit.
And they that after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. Go ahead.
For to be carnally minded is death.
Carnal minded is death. Straight up. Go ahead.
But to be spiritually minded is life and peace.
Yes, sir. Speak for itself. Go ahead.
Because the carnal mind is enmity against God.
Yeah, see, it's against God. It can't be, it's like that oil and water can't mix. You know, I got to do what I got to do in the hood to survive, man. I got to eat. So I got to therefore break the laws, and I got to break all the laws. My family got to eat, so I got to do this and do that's what they feel in their mind. So you can't really get to them once you tell them the truth. But see, they thinking they in the hood and they got to eat and survive, so they have to do this. That's what they feel. So go ahead and read verse 6 again.
For to be carnally minded is death.
Yeah.
But to be spiritually minded is life and peace.
And this is what they say. Go ahead.
Because the carnal mind is enmity against God.
It's against God. Go ahead.
For it is not subject to the law of
It
God.
ain't subject to the law of God. Go ahead.
Neither indeed can be.
Neither indeed can be. That's what's happening to our people. And all other nations. You understand what I'm saying? They feel they got to eat. They in the hood. They feel they got to get it. They got to grind. They got to do this to survive. They ain't trying to hear no truth. And then that's where it's at. But the book tells us the whole duty of man is to fear God and keep his commandments. That's why you're here on earth. They ain't going to teach you that. They're going to teach you every man for himself, and I'm just trying to survive this thing. All right? You done with that?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Let's go to Genesis 4. Let's go back to the beginning. Because sin was always there, man. You know what I mean? So, this ain't nothing new.
God do his will.
And it depends what you willing, how it's going to go. And this is all the way in Genesis, it's going to tell you. Because see, Cain and Abel did that same thing. Well, Cain, go ahead, bro. This is Genesis 4 and verse 6. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen?
Right.
If thou doest well, shall thou not be accepted?
There you go. And we're going to read that later on in some other stories. If you do well, won't you be accepted? Go ahead.
And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door.
So if you don't do well, sin is lying at the door. Go ahead.
And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him.
What's going to rule over him? Sin, ain't it? Because why? Because he desires it.
Yeah.
Some people love it.
Chase it down.
Man, some people that's just what it is. It's that feeling, you know what I mean? Because we all been there before, ain't we? You know, it's being as adults, you know what I mean? It's that desire, you know what I mean? And if you have the desire, it's going to rule over you because you chose to eat at this table. You chose to eat from this plate. But it's the desire that made you eat from this plate. So it says, if thou doest well, shall thou not be accepted? It's a real kicker, man. It's a battle between, to do this. You know what I mean? But you got to take this serious. This ain't no game. You know what I mean? So let's go to Proverbs 17. We're going to get to some little Proverbs real quick. And this is the wicked. And the wicked love to condemn you. You understand what I'm saying? The wicked will try to break you down any way they can just to discredit you. You know what I mean? This was happening out there in the real world. You know what I mean? So we're going to read Proverbs 17 and 13. Go ahead.
Whoso rewarded evil for good, evil shall not depart from his house.
You see how potent that is?
Man.
I don't think you really understand what it's saying.
We'll read it again.
Read it real slow. Go ahead.
Whoso rewarded evil for good.
They do that all the time, don't they? They reward evil for good. Oh, you knocked him out, man. Oh, yeah, y'all know, y'all young from the streets. Y'all see it on YouTube, social media. Oh, he punched him. Oh, he did that. They rewarded evil for good,
right,
didn't they? All right. Now what's happening to them? Go ahead.
Evil shall not depart from his house.
Evil will never depart from their house. They'll always have evil in their house because they rewarded evil for good. All right. Go ahead.
15?
Yeah, we're going to jump down to 15. This pretty much saying the same thing. Go ahead.
He that justified the wicked, and he that condemneth the just, even they both are abomination to the Lord.
The Lord said, he that justifies the wicked, this dude is just straight up bad, but he's still my homie. I'm justifying the wicked.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Now go ahead and read the next little verse.
Verse,
Yeah, he that justifies the wicked.
He that justified the wicked, and he that condemneth the just.
Oh, but I'm going to justify the wicked, but the one that's over here good, I'm going to condemn him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm hanging out with him that's doing wicked, but I'm going to condemn the one that's doing good. Now go ahead and read the rest, man.
Even they both are abomination.
Even they both are an abomination to the Lord. You got to understand this. They both of them. Ain't nobody sitting right. You know what I mean? All right. Let's move on. It's just quick, short hit one. You know, I'm going to hit you real quick and short. When I ain't going to hit you, the sword is going to hit you. Let's go to Psalm 109. And this is for, just a lesson that, I didn't want nothing to be too fluffy and cuddly because, like Brother Kenneth, KP, text something this morning about somebody shooting out outside his house. You know what I mean? Either waxing worse and worse. That's what the book says it's going to do. It ain't going to get better and better. It's going to wax worse and worse. That's what's happening. All right, Psalm 109 and verse 5. Go ahead.
And they have rewarded me evil for good.
We just heard that, didn't we? This is a precept. They have rewarded me evil for good. Go ahead.
And hatred for my love.
And hatred, they flipped the script for my love. Man, they ain't trying to hit you, man. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, I'm finna give you. Can you give me a ride? I'll give you a ride. Go up to the spot, give him a ride for one spot. He want to go 2 more blocks. I ain't got time. I got to go to work. Now he mad, but you done gave him a ride already. You done took him way across town, but he want to go 2 more blocks to go do something real fast. And you got to go to work. All right? So you go take him where he needs to go. He want to go 2 more blocks now. So now it's a fallout. But what's the moral of the story? You already gave him a ride. He should be grateful, right? He should be grateful for this ride. But now you don't want to go 2 more blocks because you're going to be late. Now the whole ride is messed up. Right. Like you ain't did nothing for it. Now read it.
Yeah. And they have rewarded me evil for good.
Yeah.
And hatred for my love.
Hatred for my love. Now my love turned to hatred. Because it didn't happen how he wanted it to happen. I already helped the man. All right? So let's go ahead and move on.
You want to finish?
Yeah, go ahead. My bad.
Verse 6.
Yeah, go ahead.
Set thou wicked man over him, and let Satan stand at his right hand.
Yeah, go ahead.
When he shall be judged, let him be condemned.
Yeah.
And let his prayer become sin.
Yeah, but who gonna stand over him? Since you want to act crazy, I'm gonna send Satan on your right hand. You know what I mean? So let's go back to the 6. It says, set thou wicked man over him, and let Satan stand at his right hand. Because you don't want the Lord on your right hand, you want Satan on your right hand. You know what I mean? Because you don't want the righteousness on your right hand. All right? Now with that being said, we're gonna go to Jeremiah 9. You don't want to be deceived. But if you be deceived, you ain't going to speak the truth. And the one deceiving you, you probably know more than him. Because see, that's saying he coming and using other people to deceive you, but you already been willed this truth, so you should already know what's happening. But if you don't study, you don't know, you won't have a clue what's going on. And that's what they do on a Sunday. They don't study. They preachers ain't teaching them nothing. They don't know nothing. But you can't let them come knock you out of position. You've been in there too long. All right, Jeremiah 9 and 1. Jeremiah, I'm going to tell you about it. This is about a deception. It will not speak evil of the truth. All right, go ahead.
Oh, that my head was water, and mine eyes had found no tears.
Yeah.
That I might weep day and night for the slain or the daughter of my people.
Now, this is a sorrow feeling. Go ahead.
Oh, that I had in the wilderness a lodging place of wayfaring men, that I might leave my people and go from them. For they all For they be all adulterers and assembly of treacherous men.
Man, he wanted to leave his people, ain't he?
Yeah.
He said, I'm seeing just a lot of just people that just don't care, man. You know what I mean? They that are adulterers and seamless of treacherous men, I gotta leave these people. Go ahead.
And they bend their tongue like their bows for lies.
Yeah.
But they are not valiant for the truth upon the earth. But they proceed from evil to evil.
Yeah.
And they know not me, saith the Lord.
Yeah, see, that's the Lord telling you they do. You know what I mean? They bend their tongues like they bows for lies. So they just lie, always lie. And they proceed from evil to evil. They know not me. The Lord said they don't know me. If they knew me, they wouldn't be doing what they was doing. If they really actually knew me. You know what I mean? But they forever learning, but never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Because they ever learning something. They steady going. All right, go ahead.
Take ye heed every one of his neighbors, and trust ye not in any brother. For every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slander.
Yes, sir.
And they will deceive every one his neighbor, and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies.
Because see, you train yourself. Remember that table we was talking about eating from? You get up and you train yourself. So now, whenever you speak, it's automatically a lie. Very rarely you're going to tell the truth. That's what Satan did, ain't it? He came to Eve with a little truth, but told her the rest lies, ain't it? You know what I mean? So that's what's happening. You're training yourself. So read that all over again, man.
And they will deceive every one his neighbor.
They will deceive everyone his neighbor. Go ahead.
And will not speak the truth.
They won't speak the truth. Go ahead.
They have taught their tongue to speak lies.
You taught your tongue to speak lies because you walk out every day, you're saying the same thing over and over. Then here he come. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now we know he lying. You know what I mean? But it just freely come out. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
And weary themselves to commit iniquity.
And they weary themselves to commit iniquity. They're going to sin. Because that's what a lie does. All right, over here.
Verse 6.
Go ahead.
Thy habitation is in the midst of deceit. Through deceit they refuse to know me, saith the Lord.
Through deceit they refuse to know me. Because see, that's the law. And you don't want to know the law because you're deceitful. Go ahead.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will melt them and try them.
Hold up. The Lord said he going to what?
I will melt them.
No, if he going to melt you, where is that at?
That's the lake of
That's
fire.
the lake of fire. It ain't even created yet, though.
That's right.
You know what I mean? But he going to melt you. Go ahead.
I will melt them and try them. For how shall I do for the daughter of my people?
And what try them mean? That means you're going to be judged.
That's right.
You know what I mean? All right.
Their tongue is as an arrow shot out, and speaketh deceit. One speaketh peacefully
One
to
speaks
his neighbor
peacefully to his neighbor.
with his mouth, but in his heart he led his
But in
way.
his heart, he trying to say, you know these people. You
Right.
seen some of them. Hey, brother, hey, how you doing, my brother? You know what I mean?
Plotting his scheme.
I can't stand, you know, when they walk away. You know what I mean? That's what they do. You know, deep in their mind, they can't stand you, but whenever they speaking in front of you, oh, it's lovely. You know what I mean? It's love, love, love. You know what I mean? And that's what's happening out here. Because why? Because evil is waxing worse and worse. You know what I mean? That's the entire process. All right, we're going to go to,
You want to finish verse 9?
yeah, go ahead. My bad. Finish verse 9.
Shall I not visit them for these things, saith the
No,
Lord?
he will visit you. Yeah.
Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this?
Yes, sir, because they the one taught evil, ain't they?
That's right.
All right. So now, here we go. We'll go into a little story here. We'll go in 2 Chronicles. Because the Lord said use this for your example. And that's what we do. We use the book for an example. You got to know how your God operates. And, you know, and if you don't know how he operates, you shouldn't have no opinion on how you feel about anything. Because man always got an opinion. And this is about Jeroboam and the buyer. I just want to pull this up. How Jeroboam, he rebelled, right? So this, you knowing this God of who you worship, you know this God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then you want to rebel, so you want to be doing the lovers of pleasure. They despite the word. You know what I mean? You don't want to be the lovers of the laws. You want to come up with your own stuff. You know, so we're going to follow Jeroboam throughout a couple of more verses and scriptures. You know what I mean? So we're going to pick it up in 2 Chronicles 13. Now, the acts really happened in Kings, right? So Chronicles just give you a rundown, real quick, on what happened. But if you want to see the actual story, you go back to Kings. So we are in Chronicles now just to get a quick breakdown on what's going down. So we're going to pick it up in 2 Chronicles 13 and 2. Go ahead, brother.
He reigned 3 years in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
His mother's name also was Micaiah,
Yeah.
the daughter of Uriel of Gibeah.
Yeah.
And there was war between Abijah and Jeroboam.
Yeah.
And Abijah set the battle in array with the army of valiant men of war. even 400,000 chosen men. Jeroboam also set the battle in array against him 800,000 chosen men, being mighty men of valor.
So they finna battle. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
And Abijah stood up upon Mount Zemaraim, which is in the Mount Ephraim, and said, Hear me, thou Jeroboam, and all Israel. Ought ye not to know that the Lord God of Israel gave the kingdom over Israel to David forever?
He told him, he said, I'm going to let y'all know, the Lord gave this kingdom to Israel forever. Go ahead.
Even to him and to his son by a covenant of salt. Yet Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, the servant of Solomon, the son of David, is risen up and have rebelled against his Lord.
But he rebelled against his Lord. And the Lord, he said, you know that's a covenant of salt. You can read about that covenant of salt in Numbers 18 and 19. You know what I mean? But he said Jeroboam rebelled against the Lord. He knew the Lord. But he wanted to go do what he wanted to do, and he rebelled. All right, now go ahead.
And there are gathered unto him vain men, the children of Belial, and have strengthened themselves against Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, when Rehoboam was young and tenderhearted, and could not withstand them. And now, ye think to withstand the kingdom of the Lord in the hand of the sons of David?
And Rehoboam, tenderhearted, he wasn't too strong.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He was youngster, and he didn't know too much about what's going on in the world. All right, go ahead.
And ye be a great multitude, and there are with you golden calves, which Jeroboam made for you for gods. Have you not cast out the priests of the Lord, the sons of Aaron, the Levites, and have made you priests after the manner of the nations?
So Jeroboam came and he made golden calves. You know what I mean? He made priests, so he pretty much mimicked it.
Yeah.
He trying to be like the Most High, in other words. And his priest and his, Leviticus priesthood, ain't it?
Right.
Go ahead.
Have you not cast out the priests of the Lord, the sons of Aaron, and the Levites, and have made you priests after the manner of the nations of other lands, so that whosoever cometh to consecrate himself with a young bullock and 7 rams, the same may be a priest of them that are no God.
That's what he did. And he came there, he made his own feast, he got his own priest, he threw out the priest of the Lord, and then he gonna make his own doctrine. What do that sound like? It sound like Sunday, don't it? You know, the Lord got it one way, and they gonna come with their own priest and their holy convocation, don't it? But we're gonna touch up on that later on, especially when we get to 1 Kings. Go ahead.
But as for us, the Lord is our God, and we have not forsaken him. And the priests which minister unto the Lord are the sons of Aaron, and the Levites wait upon their business. And they burn unto the Lord every morning, and every evening burn sacrifices, and sweet incense, and showbread. I also set there in order upon the pure table, and the candlestick of the gold with the lamps thereof, to burn every evening, for we keep the charge of the Lord our God, but ye have forsaken him.
Now hold up. Now you see all that you just read? Hey, they keep the charge of the Lord.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They do. It's a protocol you got to go by. You know what I mean? Especially when it was back then. And this is coming back. You know what I mean? But see, that's what he's doing. That's the love of their God they have, and that's the commandments they under, and they keep the law, statute, and the commandments. Go ahead.
And behold, God himself is with us for our captain, and his priests with sounding trumpets, to cry the alarm against you, O children of Israel. Fight ye not against the Lord God of your fathers, for ye shall not prosper.
Hold up. Read that again. Fight ye what?
Fight ye not against the Lord God of your fathers, for ye shall not prosper.
And that's what it's all about. Don't fight against the Lord. You ain't going to prosper. Don't come with your own doctrine. Don't try to wield your own thing against the Lord in the word, which is Jesus, because you will not prosper. Go ahead. Well, yeah.
Verse 13. But Jeroboam caused an ambushment to come about behind them, so that they were before Judah, and the ambushment was behind them. And when Judah looked back, behold, the battle was before and behind.
And ambushment means just an ambush. You know what I mean? It's old school ambush. Go ahead.
And they cried unto the Lord and to the priest, and the priest sounded with the trumpet. The men of Judah gave a shout.
Yeah.
And as the men of Judah shouted, it came to pass that God smote Jeroboam and all Israel before Abijah and Judah.
Well, because they cried out to their God, didn't they?
Right.
And see, now Jeroboam didn't win.
Right.
But he took golden calves and he sacrificed all these bulls, goats, and oxen. You know what I mean? Like he was the man. But they cried out to the Lord, and the Lord smoked Jeroboam. Go ahead.
And the children of Israel fled from before Judah, and God delivered them in their hand. And Abijah and his people slew them with a great slaughter. So there fell down the slain of Israel 500,000 chosen men.
Hold up. So 500,000 chosen men fell because they went on the lower side. You went after these other false prophets. That's what's going to happen on the day you come back, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? I mean, a lot of people going to fall. Now, that's what happened in the wilderness, too, didn't it? Moses said, y'all choose a side. And he pulled out his sword, and everybody that didn't come on his side, he slew them, didn't he? That's the same thing that's happening here. It's over and over and over. It ain't nothing new. But you have to know how your God operates. You know what I mean? That's why we read this story here to show you ain't nothing changed. Either you're on this side, or you're on this side. You play the game, you die to death. You may not die right away, but you're just getting by. You know what I mean? So it's a protocol with this God. Go ahead.
Thus the children, verse 18.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thus the children of Israel were brought under at that time.
Yeah.
And the children of Judah prevailed, because they relied upon the Lord God of their fathers. And Abijah pursued after Jeroboam and took cities from him.
See, they relied. So they had faith, didn't they? So they relied upon the Lord God of their fathers. It's the same God they worshiped way back, before then, all the way back to the days of Cain and Abel. He changed not. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Bethel with the town thereof, and Jeshanah with the town thereof, and Ephraim within the town thereof, with the town thereof. Neither did Jeroboam recover strength again in the days of Abijah, and the Lord struck him, and he died.
Hold on, so he never came back up, huh? So he was up, but he didn't come back up.
Right.
And then the Lord struck him when he was down, and then he died. You know what I mean? You ain't going to come back up, and then I'm going to kill you again. And that's going to be eternal fire, ain't it? Go ahead.
That's it.
That's it? All right. So I just want to show you that ain't nothing new. They always went against the Lord, and they always come up with their own thing, but towards the end, you will not prevail. And your reward is going to be death.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because he said, I'm coming with my reward, ain't you? You know, give every man according to what they supposed to be doing. So that's what's happening. Now, on top of that, let's go to Ezekiel. Because Ezekiel's going to tell you, man, why die, man? Why die before, just do what the Lord say and live. That's what you got to do. I know it's hard coming out of the world because this is just, you wake up every day, you just do what you do. You ain't never heard no stuff like this. You ain't trying to hear no stuff. If it's Monday, it's Monday. If it's Sunday, it's Sunday. You know what I mean? Hey, well, who? The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Who is that?
Who is that? You know what I mean? This is, hey, we're going to play softball Saturday. We're going to play softball Saturday. Ain't nobody have a clue what's going on around them. They just know a lot of people dying, ain't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of things happening, but they don't know why. You know what I mean? So this is really important to understand what's going on around you. And if you hear for a reason. But that's why the book said, whoever got an ear, let him hear. But you hear. So it's up to you to wield, that two-edged sword. Go ahead.
But if the wicked return from all his sins that he had committed, and keep all my statutes, and do that which is lawful and right, he shall surely live, he shall not die.
Oh, you're going to live, you won't die. Well, what's the first two letters off in there, Matt? First two words. 21. But if.
Yeah.
Well, that's a kicker. But if.
That's a big word.
You know what I mean? But if the wicked would turn from his sin that he has committed and keep all the statutes and do that which is lawful and right, he shall surely live and he shall not die. Now go ahead.
All his transgressions that he had committed, they shall not be mentioned unto him.
Right.
And his righteousness that he had done, he shall live.
He shall live. So all you did in the past that was wrong, you be a soldier in the front, put on the whole armor of God, all you did ain't going to even be mentioned. But watch what he said. Go ahead.
Have I any pleasure at all that the wicked should die, saith the Lord God, and not that he should return from his ways and live? But when the righteous turneth away from his righteousness,
so here go the righteous,
and committed iniquity,
and then commit iniquity. So this is the righteous. Now you was doing evil in the past, got straight. You have to start somewhere. All your past ain't gonna be remembered. But if you in the truth now, then go ahead.
And do it according to all the abominations that the wicked man doeth, shall he live? All his righteousness that he had done shall not be mentioned.
Oh man, so all you done in the past ain't gonna be mentioned all the way up to that point when you sinned. So you did all that good for nothing. You had it going, you was in the truth, you was doing what you were supposed to be doing, but now it's out of there. Man, all that we worked on, we did the clothing giveaway, we did this, we did that. We was one big group, we was killing them.
Yeah.
And then I failed at the end. So all I did in the past is out of there.
You gotta start over.
That's if you can start
Come
over.
back, if you can come back.
You know, he talked about that in Ezekiel. Don't have me go over to Ezekiel 14 and read that.
You want me to read?
Yeah, go to 13. Wait, is it in there? Go to 13 real fast. You know, I ain't gonna read it all.
Yeah,
That's if the Lord let you come back.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's why I said that. That's what you want me to do.
I'm just gonna go straight to the point. Go to Ezekiel 14 and 7.
14, yeah. 14 and 7.
No, go to 6.
6.
14 and 6.
Therefore, say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord God, repent and turn yourselves from your idols and turn your faces away from all your abominations.
Why? Here's why.
For every one of the house of Israel, or of the stranger that sojourned
Even the strangers,
Israel,
even other people, go ahead.
which separated himself from me,
Which separate himself from me, go ahead.
and set up his idol in his heart.
Now what's the idols in your heart? The same idols you have in your heart to try to do something is the same one the Lord's going to use against you.
Right.
Hey, he said, the strangers that sojourneth in Israel, which separate himself from me, go ahead.
And set it up his idol in his heart.
Go ahead.
And put the stumbling block of his iniquity before his face, and coming to a prophet to inquire of him.
The Lord said, you don't go to somebody that's in the truth, and you already know this, and you used to swing with us.
Yeah.
And you want to talk to him and inquire about me, this is what the Lord going to do. Go ahead.
Concerning me,
Concerning me, go
how the
ahead.
Lord will answer him.
How the Lord going to answer you
By
myself.
myself.
Hey, it's up to you. Now, you can play games if you want to, but you're going to be answered by the Lord, and you'll figure it out who hit you. You know what I mean? It may take you a while to figure it out that you ain't going to prosper until you get your heart together. And what's in your heart is that stumbling block. And that same stumbling block you use to go against somebody else, the Lord going to use it to bring you down. That's exactly what he's saying. You know, that's untempered mortar. We can read about that, but I ain't going to do that. Because that's in 13. We ain't going to keep going over and over. But I'm just letting you know who you're dealing with, know what you're talking about, and understand this God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob before you even open your mouth. That's what you got to do. You got to know what's going on, or you're going to be always having an opinion. All right? Now,
Back to 18.
back to 18.
I'm at the bottom of 24.
Ezekiel 18 and 21, I have to jump out of there real fast.
I'm at the bottom of
Throw me a rope if I climb back up.
Eat, bro.
All right, Ezekiel 18 and 21.
When we started at 21, I'm back to 24.
Go to 24.
I was at 24 at the bottom of 24.
Start at the top of 24.
All right, start at the top. Start at the top, 24. But when the righteousness turned away from his righteousness,
Yeah, you had him in your heart already. Go ahead.
and committed iniquity,
Yeah.
and do it according to all the abominations that the wicked man doeth,
Yeah.
shall he live? All his righteousness that he had done shall not be mentioned.
All of that.
In his trespass that he had trespassed, and in his sin that he had sinned, in them shall he die.
Them shall he die. Go ahead.
Yet ye say, the way of the Lord is not equal. Hear now, O house of Israel, is not my way equal? Or not your ways unequal? When a righteous man turneth away from his righteousness
And committed iniquity. Go ahead.
and died in them, for his iniquity that he had done shall he die.
The Lord says, ain't that right? My ways ain't, if he come to me, commit iniquity, shall he die? Of course he shall. Why? Because that's the law, ain't it?
the law.
What's the law? Transgress the law, ain't it? Go ahead.
Again, the
Well,
wicked
sin, right?
man,
My bad. Go ahead.
again, when the wicked man turneth away from his wickedness that he had committed, and doeth that which is lawful and right, he shall save his soul alive, because he considered and turneth away from all his
See,
transgressions.
here's a person that just coming to just firstly hearing it. I know I see it in the back, but the Lord says, should he not live? Because he's willing to come up, understand his doctrine, and live. Shall he not live?
Right.
All right, go ahead.
I'm in the middle of 28.
Go ahead.
That he had committed, he shall surely live. He shall not
He
die.
should not die. Go ahead.
Yet said the house of Israel, the way of the Lord is not equal. O house of Israel, are not my ways equal?
Yes, they are.
Are not your ways unequal?
Real unequal.
Therefore I will judge you, O house of Israel, every one according to his ways, said the Lord God. Repent and turn yourselves from all your transgressions, so iniquity shall not be your ruin.
So iniquity shall not be your ruin. You know what I mean? What we got one more after that? That's it?
We got to go to 32.
Yeah, 32.
Verse 31. Cast away from you all your transgressions, whereby ye have transgressed, and make you a new heart and a new spirit.
That's what you have to do, don't you?
Right.
You got to throw the old you away and make a new heart and a new spirit. Now, to some people, it's a game. Oh, it's that old church stuff. Some people, you know what I mean? But the one that fear the Lord, they'll live by this new heart and this new spirit, won't they? Go ahead.
For why will you die?
Why will you die, O house of Israel? Change your heart and your mind. You see people dying all around you. You don't know why, but if you understood this book, you understand why. You know what I mean? Honor your mother and father, unless you what? Die to death.
Yeah.
You're going to die to death if you don't. There's all kind of ways you can die to death. Go ahead.
For I have no pleasure in the death of him that died,
No,
said
I ain't
the
got
Lord.
no pleasure killing you. Go ahead.
Said the Lord God. Wherefore, turn yourselves and live ye.
He said, turn yourselves and live ye. Turn around and live, man. Don't just sit around and just keep dying left and right. You know, you got to understand what's going on. And when you do die, you better hope you was right with the Lord.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because he may have plans for you to die early. For an example. This book is an example. That's all in here, ain't it? But the masses, he telling you, live. Turn away from your iniquity. All right? Now, we're going to go back to Jeroboam then, you know what I'm saying? And this is why it didn't seem like the lesson was that long, but it's a lot of reading going on. We're going to go to 1 Kings. You know, Jeroboam was doing his own thing. We're going to go back to that. You know, and that's what I was telling you about, an example of what's in this book. 1 Kings 12. That way you read these things, you'll know how your God operates. That way now you can come back and say, well, I feel. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or I feel it's like this, I feel it's like that. You got to know how your God operates and what's been going on. So it's like a Sunday church can't knock you out of position. Our Lady Guadalupe can't knock you out of position. Buddha can't knock you out of position.
Right.
You know what I mean? There ain't none of them can, right? Muhammad can't knock you out of position. You understand what I'm saying? These all been in the world a long time. You know what I mean? All right. And Starte, Estra. All right. Okay, we're going to pick it up in 1 Kings 12 and 25. You know Jeroboam, he going hard. He finna do these two calves things. But I'm finna show you something up in here that it's going to trip you out. Go ahead.
Then Jeroboam built Shechem in Mount Ephraim,
Yeah.
and dwelt therein, and went out from thence and built Penuel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David.
Right.
If this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem, then shall the heart of this people turn again unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam, king of Judah, and they shall kill me.
Yo, so he got a plot.
Yeah.
So he said if they turn back, then they go back to Rehoboam, then they're going to turn around and look at me and kill me.
Right.
So I got to do something here. Go ahead. See, it ain't about nothing. It ain't about being righteous. It's about saving his own skin, ain't it?
Right.
Go ahead.
And go again to Rehoboam, king of Judah. Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold.
Wait, he made 2. But this been done in the past, too.
Yes,
Huh?
sir.
All right, go ahead.
And said unto them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold, thy God, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt.
Yeah, there you go.
And he said one in Bethel, and the other put he in Dan.
Man, he said one over here and one over there, 2 golden calves.
Yep.
I guess now all of a sudden he God. You know what I mean? Because whenever you build a golden calf, you consider to be God. Because Rehoboam, okay, they finna kill me. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
And this thing became a sin for the people, went to worship before the one, even unto Dan.
Why? Why? Because they follow them, didn't they? What's happening to the Sunday church? You follow them, ain't you?
Right.
What's happening to all these religions? You follow them. The same thing. It ain't nothing new here. Go ahead.
And he made a house of high places and made priests of the lords of the people, which were not the sons of Levi.
Okay, these ain't the sons of Levi, huh? They go to these theology schools. The next thing you know, you got Reverend such and such in front of you. He ain't the son of Levi, ain't he? You know what I mean? Now, who's to say who's the son of Levi? But we know he ain't nothing close to Levi because he's doing it on the first day, ain't he?
Right.
So he already out of position. Let me show you what Jeroboam did in verse 32. Here's a real kicker. Go ahead.
And Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that was in Judah.
Okay, Matt. Don't say nothing there. I know you know what happened. But I asked the church this. You know, Jeroboam ordained a feast on the 8th month on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast, is up in Judah. Now, he mimicking. Now, we know the Sabbath day is on the 7th day, right?
Right.
All right. Now, we know they Sunday is on the first day.
Right.
So this ain't nothing new under the sun. So the Lord said, you got to understand, this is an example of what's going on. This ain't nothing new. So now, what is he mimicking? The 8th month. See, he making up his own righteousness. The 8th month on the 15th day. Now, what's the 7th month on the 15th day? Tabernacles. So he he trying to flip the script. He trying to be like God, like Satan, trying to be like the Most High. So what he did in Leviticus 23 and 34 is the Lord's tabernacle. It's on the 7th month, on the 15th day, it's tabernacles. But if you knew this, you would know he was mimicking the 8th month on the 15th day. Got a calf over here, got a calf over there, and they sacrificing. Now go ahead and read, man.
So did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calf that he had made. And he placed in Bethel the priest of the high places which he had made.
Now, that's what's happening. So now, he mimicking. Now, Adoniah did the same thing. You can read it on your own. That's 1 Kings chapter 1. David was old and stricken in his years. You know what I mean? Adoniah said, man, hold up. Hey, David sick? Man, I'm finna become king. So he sacrificed oxen. He slew sheep, the fattest of the calf. He went and got his people, and they just bowed. He just bowed, and then Bathsheba seen this. This is Solomon's mama. She seen it and said, look, David, that man out there making himself king. You ain't even dead yet. You know what I mean? So he made his own righteousness, just like Jeroboam did. He made his own feast day. Adonai made his own righteousness. I'm going to make myself king, but you got to be anointed in this, right? But you got a lot of brothers around here think you ain't got to be anointed. They can just teach if they want to teach. See, these things is happening way before we in this truth in the future. This ain't nothing new. They always did their own thing. Here, we got the Sabbath day, and they come in with the first day, which is Sunday, to do this. Jeroboam did the same thing, way back in the day. You got the 7th day of Tabernacles, which is on the 7th month on the 15th day of Tabernacles. Then he come with the 8th month on the 15th day, and he did all the sacrifices and made his calves. They mimicking the same way you mimicking the day. Now, what table do you eat from? It's right there, ain't it? If you're on Jeroboam's side, you're going on Sunday. But they don't know this, do they? Because they don't know how to serve their God, do they? So whenever you get to these book stories like this, you ignore them because it's too much to read. I don't want to understand that. You know what I mean? But see, you have to understand what's going on. And Adonai did the same thing. He slew everything. Then King David said, told Bathsheba to go get Nathan and the prophets and the priests. Go take my son Solomon and anoint him and make him king before this cat go off the deep end. You know what I mean? And this cat seen that they made him, he was sitting on the throne of King David, and Adonai seen him from a distance. They partying. He done made himself king. It's almost like that in Belshazzar. The knees start knocking, ain't it? Right. He went up to Solomon, he said, man, I know I'm finna die. I went up there and, I tried to take his position, try to be king, and that's what's going to happen to all these preachers at the end time. They're going to look, they say, okay, we try to take your word, change it up, tell them Sunday, pray over it, eat anything and pray over it. Not knowing this book is an example to show you not to do that. What does Solomon tell him? If you do wrong, I'm going to kill you. If you do right, live. Same thing. All through the book. But you got to know this. So the Lord showed you these for an example. Let's go to Jude.
You want to finish 33?
No, we're going to go back to 33. Let's go to Jude real fast. This is Sabbath day. You're going to learn something else with me. It's those small books. And the Lord said this book is for your example. Not for you to run around and do what you want to do. I'm going to show you this for an example. So you got to know what's going on in this book to how to live your life. And if you got any questions, you read the book. Don't come up with your own righteousness. Read verse 7.
Verse 7.
Yeah, Jude.
Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering vengeance of eternal fire.
And see, that's what he's saying. Now, Sodom and Gomorrah was way back there, wasn't it? But he said these stories are set for an what?
For example.
For an example.
Read.
So you got to look at the whole book. The whole 66 books. Bible means a bundle of books. The whole 66 is your example how to live. Not to come and add nothing. We already seen what the Sunday church did. They did like Jeroboam, didn't they? Let's go to 1 Corinthians 10. Y'all don't got to go. We're just going to shoot over there real quick. 1 Corinthians 10 and 6. I'll tell you about that example. 1 Corinthians 10 and 6. Go ahead, brother man.
Now these things were our example, to the intent we should not lust after evil things that they also lusted.
Yeah, see, these things is for an example. The Lord goes, you're going to pay. And I just want to show you how Jeroboam did in this story, and the story about Adonai in 1 Kings chapter 1, his story, and we just went to 2 Chronicles to learn about Jeroboam, and we're going to read another one pretty soon. These stories to show you how to live your life and what you can get away with and can't get away, and the whole book is your example. Go ahead, now let's go back to 1 Kings. I quit trying to stray y'all, but I just want you to understand that.
You want to add some more? I'll read some more, brother. All you got to do is say the word. It's a Sabbath day.
But it's amazing how he did it on the 8th month, and then the Lord had it on the 7th month, and that's the same thing the Sunday church did. It's right there. That's the God you serving is like the same God Jeroboam is serving.
Right.
You know what I mean? He did the same exact thing. They got their Leviticus priesthood. They got the Catholic Church got their priests, right? Yeah. You know, they knocking off the incense and walking around with the juju beads and everything, all that type of stuff. So they got their own little priest. You know what I mean? They mimic it. This is a mimic effect. All right, go ahead.
Verse 33. So he offered upon the altar which he had made in Bethel the 15th day of the 8th month.
Now we know what that means.
Even in the month which he had devised of his own heart.
Of his what?
Of his own heart.
Of his own heart. Go ahead.
And ordained a feast.
He ordained feasts? Go ahead.
Unto the children of Israel, and he offered upon the altar and burnt incense.
Wow.
He did it all.
He did it all. You know what I mean? And he made up his own feast day.
Yep.
He said, Tabernacle. You know what I mean? I'm going to make my own thing. And that's exactly what they did. And that's what we following. So not knowing we sitting back, not knowing we're not following the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they was following Jeroboam today, ain't they? Right. The same suits, different fashion. You know what I mean? So I just want to share that with you. Let's go ahead and go to 1 Kings 13. We're going to keep it moving. Now here, I know we had read earlier, this is about a man of God, right? And a false prophet. I know we had read earlier that if you know the Lord, it's best to stay on his side. And we went to Ezekiel, and he said, you know, you try to turn from him, I'm the Lord going to answer you myself, right? You understand that? So this is the man of God. He started with the truth, and he's walking forward with the truth. All right? And we're going to see what's going to happen. So bear with me. This is just another example that nobody really going to the trenches. Now, it's been read a lot of times, but I just want you to understand what's really going on. Go ahead, brother.
And behold, there came a man of God out of Judah, by the word of the Lord unto Bethel. And Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense.
Yeah, there go Jeroboam again. We already know how he rolled. Go ahead.
And he cried against the altar in the word of the Lord, and said, O altar, altar, thus saith the Lord, behold, a child shall be born unto the house of David, Josiah by name. And upon thee shall he offer the priest of the high places, and burn incense upon thee, and men's bones shall be burnt upon thee.
So he didn't call something that's going to happen in the future that's going to be fulfilled, right? Right. All right, but Jeroboam didn't have a clue what he was talking about, did he? Go ahead.
And he gave a sign the same day, saying, this is the sign which the Lord has spoken.
The Lord has spoken this, he said. Go ahead.
Behold, the altar shall be rent.
It shall be rent.
And the ashes that are upon it shall be poured out.
And the ashes that are upon it shall be poured out. I bet Jeroboam was like, what? What this man talking? You know, go ahead.
And it came to pass.
It came to pass, though.
When King Jeroboam heard the saying of the man of God, which he had cried against the altar in Bethel, that he put forth his hand from the altar, saying, lay hold on him. And his hand, which he put forth against him, dried up.
His hand dried up. Go ahead.
So that he could not put it in again.
He couldn't pull it in. Go ahead.
To him. And the altar was rent, and the ashes poured out from the altar.
Oh, the Lord just called that was going to happen, right? Go ahead.
And the ashes were poured out from the altar according to the sign which the man of God had given by the word of the Lord.
Yeah, go ahead.
And the king answered and said unto the man of God, entreat now the face of the Lord thy God, and pray for me, that my hand may be restored me again.
No, not Jeroboam talking about pray for me. Hold up.
Yeah.
You just built all this stuff, now you want to, it sounds like Pharaoh, don't it?
Right.
Get him out of here and tell him to pray for me too. You know what I mean? Then still went after him again. Same thing Jeroboam will do. Go ahead.
And the man of God besought the Lord, and the king's hand would restore him again.
Oh, so they ain't withered up no more.
Right.
But he have to go, the man of God have to pray to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to restore his hand back. This is a bad Jeroboam, though. Go ahead.
And became as it was before. And the king said unto the man of God, come home with me, and refresh thyself, and I will give thee a reward.
Watch what the man of God say.
And the man of God said unto the king, if thou wilt give me half thine house, I will not go in with thee.
He said, man, you can't give me half your house. I ain't finna go break bread with you. Go ahead.
Neither will I eat bread nor drink water in this place.
Yeah.
For so it will charge me by the word of the Lord, saying, eat no bread.
Okay, this is the word of the Lord telling this man. When you go out there, do this. Eat no bread. Go ahead.
Nor drink no water.
Drink no water. Go ahead.
Nor turn again by the same way that thou camest.
So if I'm going this way, I can't turn back that way.
Go out another way.
You know what I mean? You got to go out another way. Don't stop and eat no bread nowhere. See, this is a commandment. So he knows his God, don't he? This man of God. So this was given to him. But you can't have nobody knock you out of position. Now, this is the main moral of the story. Now, go ahead, man.
So he went another way and returned not by the way that he came in Bethel.
He bust the other way. Go ahead.
Now there dwelt the old prophet in Bethel, and his sons came and told him all the work that the man of God had done that day in Bethel, the words which he had spoken unto the king. Them they told also to their father.
Now who is this? The old prophet. It sounds like the Sunday church house.
Right.
Man, hey, you ain't got to. Hey, let me show you what we was taught.
Yeah.
The old prophet gonna come. Now you already got the instructions of the Lord. Now you gonna let an old prophet come. Now go ahead.
And their father said unto them, what way went he? For his sons had seen what way the man of God went.
So he's looking for him. Go ahead.
Which came from Judah. And he said unto his sons, saddle me the ass. So they saddled him the ass, and he rode thereon, and went after the man of God, and found him sitting under an oak. And he said unto him, art thou the man of God? Thou camest from Judah. And he said, I am. Then he said unto him, come home with me and eat bread.
Now what the Lord tell him?
Don't
in verse 8. Yeah, don't eat no bread, don't even come the way you came. Right? Don't drink no water with nobody. Now, he know the Lord, right? Now he fears God, don't he? So he know the consequences to go against his God. But see what happened. Go ahead.
And he said, I may not return with thee.
I can't go home with you, man. Go ahead.
Nor go in with thee. Neither will I eat bread nor drink water with thee in this place. For it was said me by the word of the Lord, thou shalt eat no bread nor drink water there, nor turn again to go by the way that thou came.
He repeated what he said in verse 7. You know what I mean? He said the same thing that Jeroboam did.
Right.
He told the man of God, he told the prophet this, the false prophet. Now look what the false prophets. Now, if you read 17 again, because this is talking about don't turn. This ain't nothing new. You know what I'm telling you about the example? Read 17 again real fast, man.
For it was said to me by the word of the Lord, thou shalt eat no bread, nor drink water there, nor turn again to go by the way that thou camest.
And see, this ain't nothing new. The Lord always operated like this. Knowing examples of the book, let's go to Numbers 20 and 17. Just real quick, let's precept there what he just said. We'll go to Numbers 20 and 17. You don't have to go if you don't want to go.
I'll read it for you.
Yeah, you're going to read it out loud. You can run, but you can't hide.
Got you. 20 verse 7.
20 verse 7. 17, my bad.
17.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, we know he said don't go to the right or to your left of you. Go ahead.
Let us pass, I pray thee, through thy country. We will not pass through the fields or through the vineyard, neither will we drink of the water of the well.
It seemed like the same mission they was on, wasn't it? The same God. That's how he operates. So we understand what he's doing. Go ahead.
We will go by the king's highway. We will not turn to the right
You ain't going to turn to the right,
nor to the left,
nor to the left,
until we have passed our border.
until we have got to our destination. See, he had a destination to go to, but see, they talking about this way in Numbers. The same thing he's talking about in Kings. Let's go to Deuteronomy 5 and 32. Get one more example, then we'll shoot back. Deuteronomy 5 and 32. I just want you to get a full understanding about example of this book. Either you're going to be a pleasure, despite the word, or do the Lord's word, and reap the reward, actually. 5 and 32, I believe.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ye shall observe to do therefore as the Lord your God had commanded you.
The Lord commanded the man of God to do this, right?
Right.
He said, don't break bread nowhere, go straight, don't go to the left, don't go back the way you came. Now go ahead and read that, start all over.
Ye shall observe to do therefore as the Lord your God had commanded you.
Yeah.
Ye shall not turn aside to the right
No,
hand
sir.
or to the left.
Same thing, ain't it? Same exact thing. So I just wanted to show you that what they talking about in Kings, it already been done. What Jeroboam them did in on 1 Kings, then if you go to 13 or 12, and what Adoniah did ain't nothing new. You know what I mean? The Sunday church is doing what Jeroboam did. But they started that in Leviticus 23 and 34, 7 months and 15 days. He did it 8 months and 15 days. Adoniah came and just made himself king, didn't get anointed. You understand? The man of God came. You know what I mean? So now he on a mission. Now here comes this false prophet. Now go ahead.
He said unto him.
He said verse 18. Yeah, go ahead.
He said unto him, I am a prophet.
I'm a prophet.
Also as thou art. And the angel spake to me by the word of the Lord.
The Lord
saying,
spoke to me last night. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
These false prophets getting to you. Go ahead.
Bring him back with thee into thine house, that he may eat bread and drink water.
But here's the catcher.
But he lied unto him.
He lied unto him.
Why the angel ain't come to me?
But he know. Yeah, exactly. Why the angel ain't come to me? Why come because the man, the Lord spoke to me already.
Right.
And he told me a specific way to go. But here comes this prophet, and what is that that's Satan? He do lie, don't he? You know what I mean? He said, but he lied unto him. And this is exactly where it's the real kicker. Go ahead, brother.
So he went back with
I
him.
don't think you understand what he just read.
So he went back
He
with
went
him.
back with him. He went against the word of the Lord. He was doing good at first, wasn't he? You know what I mean? He stood there, told Jeroboam, get out of my way. I ain't gonna care if you give me half of this. Then he told the false prophet, look, man, the Lord told me I'd go straight and I ain't trying to stir nowhere. But he said, hey, the Lord spoke to me too.
Yeah.
So come on back with me. And he did lie, didn't he?
Lied.
You know what I mean? So I'm a prophet too, just like you. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
So he went back with him and did eat bread in his house and drink water.
And see, that's what they do in the Sunday churches. I know the scripture too. You know what I mean? I know this and I know this too. So come on back with us and then just break this. You ain't got to do this. You ain't got to fear that God. And that's what's happening today. Go ahead.
And it came to pass that they sat at the table, that the word of the Lord came unto the prophet that brought him back.
Yeah.
And he cried unto the man of God that came from Judah, saying, Thus saith the Lord, for as much as thou hast disobeyed the mouth of the Lord.
Man, the who?
The mouth of the
The
Lord.
mouth of the Lord. Now the Lord gonna answer him myself, ain't he?
Right.
Well, go ahead.
And hast not kept the commandment which the Lord thy God commanded thee, but camest back and hast eaten bread and
He ate
drunk
bread
water
and drank water.
in this place, of which the Lord did say to thee, Eat no bread and drink no water.
I already told you what to do. Go ahead.
Thy carcass shall not come unto the sepulchre
See,
of thy
I
father.
already told you what to do in his book. And I'm talking about the people that's sitting there now. I told you what to do. But you don't go like Jeroboam then and go do what the Sunday people do. You know what I mean? The law is dead and done away with. Or you can eat the swine and pray over it. See, you doing what they doing, and I already told you what's the dietary law. That's what I'm trying to get across to everybody. You know what I mean? Now go ahead.
And it came to pass, after he had eaten bread and after he had drunk, that he saddled for him the ass to whip, for the prophet whom he had brought back. And when he was gone, a lion met him by the way.
Okay, so he saddled his ass. This is the prophet that messed up. And a lion met him on the way. Go ahead.
And slew him.
And slew him. Go ahead.
And his carcass was cast in the way, and the ass stood by. The lion also stood by the carcass. And behold, men passed by and saw the carcass cast in the way, and the lion standing by the carcass.
Lion standing by the carcass.
And they came and told it in the city where the old prophet dwelt.
Now wait, check this out. The lion waiting on him because he transgressed against the Lord. The lion killed him. The lion sitting there. The ass sitting there. He ain't killed a donkey. The ass sitting there. The prophet sitting there dead. They all just sitting there together. That's just something. Go ahead.
And when the prophet that brought him back from the way heard
of this.
He said, It is the man of God who was disobedient.
He said it was a man of God, which was, right? Even though he willed to lie.
He didn't want to lie to him.
Yeah, he didn't want to lie to him. And said, it is the man of God who was disobedient to him.
Right.
Even though I told you, come on back home when I was a prophet.
Let's go.
He did mess up. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
It is the man of God.
Because he knew better. So you can't let nobody come throw you out of position.
Right.
I mean, you already know this position. Go ahead.
It is the man of God who was disobedient to the word of the Lord.
Yeah.
Therefore the Lord had delivered him unto the lion, which had torn him and slain him, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake unto him. And he spake to his sons, saying, Saddle me the ass, and they saddled him.
He trying to walk the whole thing back down, ain't he? Go ahead.
And he went and found his carcass cast in the way, and the ass and the lion standing by the car.
The ass and the lion standing by the car, right? Go ahead.
The lion had not eaten the carcass, nor torn the ass.
See, the lion didn't eat the carcass nor torn the ass. All right, go ahead.
And the prophet took up the carcass of the man of God and laid it upon the ass and bound it back. And the old prophet came to the city to mourn and to bury him.
He had a nerve. Because he knew he was wrong. So he mourned and buried him. And now, that prophet is out of there. You understand? That old prophet is out there because he transgressed against the Lord. Go ahead.
And he laid his carcass.
Not the prophet, but the man of God. Go ahead.
And he laid his carcass in his own grave. And they mourned over him, saying, Alas, my brother. And it came to pass, after he had buried him, that he spake to his son, saying, When I am dead, then bury me in the sepulchre wherein the man of God is buried. Lay my bones beside his bones.
Yeah.
For the saying which he had cried by the word of the Lord against the altar in Bethel, and against all the houses of the high places which are in the cities of Samaria, shall surely come to pass. After this thing, Jeroboam returned not from his evil way, but made again the lords of the people priests of the high places. Whosoever would he consecrated him, and became one of the priests of the high places, and this thing became sin unto the house of Jeroboam, even to cut it off and to destroy it from off the face of the earth.
And all that would happen just then, Jeroboam still ain't getting it. Lion sitting next to the ass, the prophet did, and all this stuff happened. I done made you whole again after you asked my God to make you whole again. All this stuff happened, he still did. And you know, you can go ahead and read Jeroboam. I didn't go into it, you know what I mean? But he gonna die. You go to 1 Kings 14 and 11, and it says, Him that dieth of Jeroboam, the city shall the dogs eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls and the air eat, and the Lord hath spoken it. You jump over to 19, and the rest of the acts of Jeroboam, how he warned and how he reigned, behold, they are written in the books of the Chronicles of the Kings. And pretty much, he slept with his fathers, he died. You know what I mean? But you can read that whole story on your own, but Jeroboam was something. And I just want you to get that example on how we ran that down to Jeroboam on the 8th month, how he mimicked the 7th month. And we didn't read Ananiah that's in 1 Kings in chapter 1, but I just want you to tell you about 1 Kings in chapter 1. You know what I mean? You're going to read that on your own, about how he made himself king. And that's going to be Solomon. And then how we came over to Jeroboam and the prophet of God, you know what I mean, so-called prophet of God, and the man of God, you know what I mean? So I just want to show you that this is an example. And he told him, don't turn away from this. And then we read that in Numbers and Deuteronomy. So I just want you to see that everything that's going on, already been going on, but it's up to you to catch the mimic. It's up to you to catch what's going on. Okay, the Lord showed us this already in this book. So this ain't nothing new. So when they come against me, I know how to fight this thing. It ain't going to be like them going on Sunday church. I already know they out of there. Right. I ain't going to worry about that prophet talking about eating anything and pray over them. Because the Lord already spoke that. That's his dietary law. Right. I ain't going to read about what the lesson they got an unclean law still stands. It still stands. You know what I mean? So I just want you to understand, that's why I read those. Now, we're going to go into some Johns. It's pretty much as you're going to be on our side or you're going to be on the world side. All right? So it's going to kind of speed up a little bit now because I'm trying to hit it home. So let's go to let's go to John 9:31, I believe. I got the rough draft copy, so I ain't got the paper. 9:31. So we're going to bring it home here. We're going to go through some Johns. Just say, okay, hey, pretty much removed the set. I was going to bring it up too, but I cut that short. Because I'm trying to, I don't know what time it is. We're a little past halfway. We push it. I mean, we push it. All right, John 9:31. Now, you'll hear people say, the Lord loves everybody. Just love. I almost make you want to give them a hug when they say it. You know, just love and just crawl over each other, right? No, man, the Lord has got a protocol. You know what I mean? And this is something, he don't hear the ones that don't hear him. And the people think he hear them, but he don't. So let's read John 9 just real quick. In 31, go ahead, brother.
Now we know that God heareth not sinners.
What?
We know that God heareth not
everybody.
sinners.
Come as you are.
Heareth not sinners.
Okay, heareth not sinners, go ahead.
But if any man be a worshiper of God and doeth his will, him he heareth.
And what is his will?
Law.
His law. He's a covenant God.
Right.
a God of war.
Right.
You know what I mean? He came as the Lamb already. He's coming back as a Lion of Judah to give everybody their reward, right? You want to be despised of the word and do your pleasures? That's on you. You know what I mean? All right, let's go ahead and go to 1 John 2. Go a little further back to 1 John 2. 1 John 2 and 19. You know, me and Mel was going over this because he liked to swing that 2 and 19. I love it. You know what I mean? And I always come with that 1 John 4. Because they precepts. Right? But they was part of us. And they walked away from us. You know what I mean? So you was here, but you walked away from us. Now, that's what this is about. So you have to choose. Go ahead. Read 2 and 19, brother.
They went out from us,
Yeah.
but they were not of us.
They wasn't of us. But at first it seemed like they was, wasn't it?
Right.
You know what I mean? They came like Jeroboam. You know what I mean? He know about the law, statute, commandments. But Rehoboam coming, they finna kill me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now I gotta do something. So now I was with them, but I'm out. I'm not with them no more. Go ahead.
But if they had been for of us,
Yeah.
they would no doubt have continued with us.
Yeah, they would have continued with us if they was part of us.
That's right.
But who with us? That's what I'm saying. And that's what the book saying. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
But they went out that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us.
Yeah, they got to be manifest. They weren't part of us. You know what I mean? So they weren't of us. So let's get that precept on there. Let's go to 1 John 4. Just clear that up a little bit because I love that, man. You know what I mean? Because if they was part of us, they would have stayed with us. But they weren't part of us. So they come up with their own doctrine, didn't they? You know what I mean? So 1 John 4 and 4. Go ahead.
Ye are of God, little children,
Yeah.
and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world.
Yeah, it's better that he in you than you in the world.
Right.
Because see, you can't be doing that pleasure and trying to get that law at the same time. We're going to read about that later on. Go ahead.
They are of the world.
They are of the world. Go ahead.
Therefore speak they of the world.
They speak of the world. Go ahead.
And the world heareth them.
Hey, you want to go bother and do this? Yeah, I hear you, brother. They hear you. You on their team. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
We are of God.
But we are of God. Go ahead.
He that knoweth God heareth us.
He that knoweth God, they hear us. Go ahead.
He that is not of God heareth us not.
Man,
Hear
keep
not
Sabbath
us.
day. You know what the Sabbath day mean when I say keep the Sabbath day.
Right.
You of us. Don't eat that swine. You of us, ain't you? Because you know what it means by the dietary law. You walking on our side. But the world ain't going to hear this. What? Oh, man, you can eat the swine. Just pray over it. What you worried about it for? They ain't of us, is they? So it says they are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world hears them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they kicking against it. So they hear you. Oh, false prophets, this. They don't know what they talking about. They evil. How is we evil keeping the 10 Commandments?
Right.
How is we in a cult keeping the 10 Commandments? But that's what they saying. All right, go ahead.
Hereby know we the spirit of truth
We the spirit of truth. Go ahead.
and the spirit of error.
And the spirit of error. We know the difference between right and wrong. They just know wrong and try to make it look like it's right. You know, but see, no, we know the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. You hear me? All right, so now let's go to John 8 and 47. Just a little quick hitters. Give you a little understanding of what's really going on. Because if you're willing this book and you really know what's going on, then you will know there's certain things you can't do, but you think you can do them. You think you can parade and do what you can do because it's based around you. It is not based around you or your doctrine or your God or your pastor or nothing like that. John 8, it's the will of the Lord. And you got to come one way. You can't come through no window in this thing. John 8 and 47. Go ahead, brother.
He that is of God hears God's word.
Same thing, ain't it? He that is of God, hear God's word. See what I'm saying? Now, if you're unclean on your ministry, can you come to this church? No. You're unclean for 7 days. They hear God's words, don't they?
Right.
You know what I mean? They say have a holy convocation on a Sabbath day. Not 7-day Adventist. That's a religion.
Right.
But if you do that, you hear God's word, don't you?
Right.
You know what I mean? So this is an example of what's going down. Go ahead.
Ye therefore hear them not, because ye are not of God.
Because you ain't of God if you don't hear these things. Show up when you want to, do what you want to do, come up with your own doctrine. You ain't know the same God we worship. You know what I mean? But you don't want to hear it when a man of God come to you. You don't want to hear what's really going on. And then that's where the downfall is. All right? Now, with that being said, let's go to Psalms. You know, a lot of them be up in here, you know, you hear, you can see them on social media. They be cussing away. Be cussing and trying to tell you this and cussing. I'll tell you, it just depends who you're hanging around. If OG triple low, double low come in, then you're going to be cussing. You know what I mean? It's like, man, I say, what's up, man? Hey, man, blankety blank, man, you know. So, how can I say you're a man of God whenever you show me you're not? You understand what I'm saying? All right. Psalms 59. Let me get there. Psalms 59 and 10. Go ahead, brother Matt.
God of my mercy shall prevent me. God shall let me see my desire upon my enemies. Slay them not, lest my people forget. Scatter them by thy power, and bring them down.
How are you going to scatter them by the power and bring them down? It's the word, it's powerful. It's the horn of salvation, it's powerful. It's going to bring them down. Go ahead.
O Lord, our shield.
Oh Lord, our shield. Go ahead.
For the sin of their mouth and the words of their lips, let them even be taken in their pride.
Yeah, they're going to take it in their pride. Can't tell them nothing. Blankety blank blank, because I'm just that man. You know what I mean? Today, tomorrow I ought to be holy. But today I'm gangster. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And for cursing and lying which they speak.
Cursing and lying which they speak. Go ahead. Depends who they're hanging around. Go ahead.
Consume them
He
in
said,
wrath.
consume them, Lord. Go ahead.
Consume them, that they may not be. And let them know that God ruleth in Jacob unto the ends of the earth.
Yeah, and we're going to let them know. This God of Abraham Isaac is going to be here to the ends of the earth, ain't he?
That's right.
Yes, sir. That's where we at.
Verse 14.
Go ahead.
And at even, let them return. And let them make noise like a dog.
Let them make noise like a what?
Like a dog.
Go ahead.
And go round about the city.
They're going to be howling going around about the city. Why? Go ahead.
Let them wander up and down for meat and grudge if they be not satisfied.
Wow.
Deep.
Lord, hey, that's like a curse, ain't it?
Yeah, man, that's cold right
They do howl around the hoods, don't
Yeah,
they?
they do.
You know what I mean? And they got this grudge because they not satisfied. You know what I mean? So they wander up and down in the cities like looking for meat. And you know, Satan already looking to see who he can devour, right? Well, I'm telling you, these last day and time, you better get yourself together. Huh? Oh, hold on. All right. Okay, I'm trying to get the point across here. All right. See, James 3. Excuse me, everybody. Just had a Satan trying to work on it. I ain't trying to say here unholy man, but you know, distraction. James 3 and 10. James 3 and 10. Yes, they do. You know, they holy on Tuesday. It depends on if I call, we do a little conversation with somebody maybe. We discussing book, it's going down. We saints. Oh, we preceptors. Yeah. Man, all right, now I'll let you. Get it in. Wednesday, we did OG, double O, triple O, low. Back at it. You know what I mean? Ride or die. You know, it's that. Thursday, he half and half. You know what I mean? Friday, that ain't nothing wrong with pleasure. I don't want you to get it misunderstood. Pleasure is different. You can watch the game, kick it and everything else, but keep the law. That's what it boils down to. That's what I mean about the double O, triple O, low. Just keep the law. Keep it intact. Don't sin when you do that. You know what I mean? And try to hit the book more than one time a week. Right. At least. You know what I mean? I mean, that keep you grounded. You know what I mean? So, this is what you can't do. James 3 and verse 10. Go ahead.
Out of the same mouth proceeded blessing and cursing.
Now, out of the same mouth, how can that be? Proceeding blessing and cursing. I'm blessed, man. Blankety blank blank. What's up, G? I'm blessed. Blankety blank blank. Out of the same mouth. Oh, look, you just said you was blessed. An hour later, you're a gangster. Go ahead.
My brethren, these things ought not so to be.
He said these things are not so to be. Go ahead.
Do a fountain send forth at the same place sweet water and bitter?
Now, can a fountain have water coming down and give you sweet water and bitter at the same time? No, it can't. Either it's going to be sweet or it's going to be bitter. Go ahead.
Can the fig tree, my brethren, bear olive berries?
Yeah, because that's a fig tree.
Right.
How can it bring out olive berries, right? That's the example for the Lord telling you. Go ahead.
Either a vine, figs, so can no fountain both yield salt water and fresh water.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, it just ain't gonna happen. You can't have salt water and fresh water coming out the same fountain because it's a mixture. I mean, it's like water and oil. I was telling you about earlier. All right, where we at?
Romans chapter 3.
Romans chapter 3. We getting there, y'all. You know, the longer you have people sit, the more out of focus they be. So that's why I'm trying to make them too long because it throws people out of focus. And they get unrest. Go ahead. Romans 3 and 9. Go ahead. This is kind of long, so I'm just going to... you just got to understand the law of knowledge. Go ahead, brother.
What then? Are we better than they? No, and no why. For we have before proved, both Jews and Gentiles, that they are all under sin.
Yeah, so he just said we are all under sin, mankind. We're not better than nobody. We can give us other law, but we're not better than nobody. Go ahead.
As it is written, there is none righteous, no, not one.
Not a one. Go ahead.
There is none that understand it. There is none that seek it after God. They are all gone out of the way. They are all together become unprofitable. There is none that doeth good. No, not one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Their throat is the open sepulchre.
The open sepulchre. Go ahead.
With their tongues they have used deceit.
With their tongues they use deceit. Go ahead.
The poison of ash is under their lips.
Yes, sir.
Whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness.
And bitterness. Go ahead.
Their feet also swift to shed blood.
They swift to shed blood. Go ahead.
Destruction and misery are in their ways.
And see, this talking about life. Go ahead.
And the way of peace have they not known.
And you see this on the news every day. You see this in your neighborhood every day. Some people here even walking.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
There is no fear of God before their eyes.
Ain't no fear of God. That's why you do this. You can just do it all day long because there ain't no fear. They don't care. Ain't no care either. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Now we know that what things soever the law said, it said to them who are under the law.
Yes, sir.
That every mouth may be stopped.
You gotta be told. Hurt your feelings or not. Every mouth must be stopped. Go ahead.
And all the world may become guilty before God.
Yeah, and how you gonna become guilty? Because the word gonna show you guilty. Right. Paul said, I didn't know about covenant until it slew me. Right? Go ahead.
Therefore, by the deeds of the law, there should no flesh be justified.
Yeah, go ahead.
In his sight. For by the law is the knowledge of sin.
By the law is the knowledge of sin. Oh, you want to be have that wisdom, have that knowledge? Get into this book. You know, I used to sit around and say, man, that boy deep.
Right.
He got that knowledge. No, he don't. That's what I thought. I thought we was deep back in the day.
Right,
man, we deep, man. That boy was going off deep. No, we wasn't. This is deep.
Yep.
This is knowledge of the fear of the Lord. You know what I mean? This is where wisdom come in at. But we thought we had wisdom. We just flesh and flying in the wind, wasn't it? Don't tell us nothing on that tip. All right, go ahead.
That's it.
That's it? All right. Let's go to Judges, right?
Yeah, Judges chapter 2.
Yeah, this is about Israel being disobedient. Judges, I just want to, another example. Right out the Kings. Oh, you see the Judges then, Kings. Judges 2 and 1. Get there. I don't know if I want to add. Well, mine a little different than y'all, so I want to make sure. But that's towards the end. Right. Okay. Judges 2 and 1. Go ahead, brother man.
And the angel of the Lord came up from Gilgal to Bochim.
Yeah.
And said, I made you to go out of Egypt, and have brought you into the land which I swear unto your father.
Yeah.
And I said, I will never break my covenant with you. And you shall make no league with the inhabitants of this land.
Hold up, they already did that, didn't they?
Right.
They make a league with the inhabitants of the land because they're going after their gods already. Ain't it? So we breaking this protocol everywhere we went. Go ahead.
Ye shall throw down their altars, but ye have not obeyed my voice. Why have you done this?
Throw down their altar.
Yep.
Oh no, man, I'm gonna wear that cross proudly. I'm gonna throw that cross around my neck. I ain't gonna throw down nothing. That's what they do. But the Lord told you, when you go up in their land, don't do what they do. They got the cross going on. They pollute the Sabbath day. They doing what they want to do. Go ahead.
Wherefore, I also said, I will not drive them out from before you, but they shall be as thorns in your side, and their God shall be a snare to you.
And he a snare, ain't he?
He sure is.
They sit up under every church on every corner because their God is a snare to them. You know what I mean? Got people walking, looking down at heaven, ain't they? Not knowing that the only person that came down from heaven is Jesus, right? You know what I mean? But they got, Big Mama looking down at me. You know what I mean? They got standing over graves. You can do that if you wanted to. You know what I mean? They got all this stuff mixed all up because the Lord said, I'm going to put a thorn. They're going to be a thorn in your side and you're going to worship their gods. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when the angel of the Lord spake these words unto all the children of Israel, that the people lifted up their voice and wept.
Oh, they want to cry now. Oh, Lord, Lord, Lord. I know we was disobedient, Lord, but I'm going to cry right now. You know what I mean? Because that's what redeemed us out of a lot of situations. And we cry out to the Lord. So he stretched out his arm and redeemed us, and he threw us back out there to them gods. And he redeemed us, and he'll throw us back out there to them gods. All right, go ahead.
Skip down to 10.
Skip down to 10, brother.
And also all their generation were gathered unto their fathers. And there arose another generation after them, which knew not the Lord, nor yet the works which he had done for Israel. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and served Baalim.
And they served Baalim. But see, there was another generation came. So, this thing is going and going and going. And now, we got another generation come up, didn't know the Lord. That's what happened in Nehemiah days.
Yeah.
But what they do, they searched the book daily, didn't they? To get this thing right. Go ahead.
They forsook the Lord God of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods.
And followed other gods, that's what they doing today. Go ahead.
Of the gods of the people that were round about them.
Of the gods that the people that's around about them. Go ahead.
And bowed themselves unto them.
Yeah.
And provoked the Lord to anger.
And we say bow themselves to them. So when I get that Christmas tree, that ain't no God. Oh. So when I bow down in front of it, that's when I'm opening my presents in front of it. So I am bowing down there. Oh man, so that's a Christmas God. You know what I mean? Mithric, whatever they call it. This is 100 names. You know what I mean? Mithras, yeah, Mithras. Go ahead.
And they forsook the Lord.
Yeah.
And served Baal and Ashtaroth.
Yeah.
And the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel.
Okay, hold up, man. So if they forsook the Lord and served Baal and Ashtaroth, who is Ashtaroth?
Easter.
Oh, it's the Easter God? Man, they ain't been doing this since then.
Hey, long time.
And starting
Yes, yes.
Estra, the same chick,
Same.
fertility goddess.
Yep.
Man. So how do we get to her? We got a dawn Friday, rise Easter Sunday morning?
Yep.
Oh, that's Easter. Estra, Solomon's wife was in Estra. Go ahead.
And the anger of the Lord was hot against
But the Lord said, I
Israel.
was hot against them. Go ahead.
And he delivered them into the hand of spoilers that spoiled them. And he sold them into the hand of their enemies round about, so that they could not any longer stand before their enemies.
Yeah, because we did get sold, didn't we?
Right.
But the thing is if they're going to show you this in a Sunday church that you worshiping Estra. If they read that to you, will you understand it? Will you understand Estra? You already know, don't you, who she is, and she's the Easter God, Estra. So if anybody reads you Estra, you're going to say, okay, I understand this. This is the Easter God. But if you don't know it, it's going to go over your head, you know what I mean, and you're worshiping this God.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the knowledge of having this truth in you and knowing that nobody can come tell you anything, you got to understand it for yourself. Or you'll get knocked out of position. Go ahead.
Whithersoever they went out, the hand of the Lord was against them.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, go ahead.
As the Lord has said, and as the Lord has sworn unto them, and they were greatly distressed. Nevertheless, the Lord raised up judges.
He raised up judges? Go ahead.
Which delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them.
And that's why you got the book of Judges. They didn't want to hear the Lord at Mount Sinai. The Lord scared them. So the Lord said, okay, that's all right. I'm I'm gonna give y'all judges and kings. That's why you got the book Judges, then Kings. Because they didn't want to see the Lord no more. The Lord was scared them. You know what I mean? So he said, I'm gonna send y'all judges and kings. And they weren't pretty when he sent them judges and kings, was it?
Right.
Boy, it was going down. Go ahead.
And yet they would not hearken unto their judges.
They ain't gonna hearken because they sin continuously. That's what man do. It's hard for man to hold on to something real strong. They'll be in the truth 1 week, and then the next 7 months they're out of the truth. You walking around that, man, you know that brother ain't in the truth no more. What? And then they'll pop up like it ain't nothing new. You know what I mean? This all over the United States, there's people that's in the truth. They pop up and they pop down. I'm going to say call it pop down. I ain't talking about walking. You don't pop down, but you're popping up and you're popping down. It's all messed up. Go ahead.
But they went a horn after other gods and bowed themselves unto them. They turned quickly out of the way which their fathers walked in.
See? They turned quickly then. So they went back into the word. They flip-flopped in it. Right. Go ahead.
Obeying the commandments of the Lord, but they did not so. And when the Lord raised them up judges, then the Lord was with the judge and delivered them out of the hand of their enemies. And all the days of the judge were repented the Lord because of their groaning, by the reason of them that oppressed them and vexed them.
Now, why did the Lord, I don't know if they just heard what you read. Why did the Lord send them judges? Because the ones that was against them, they vexed the people, didn't he?
Right.
So the Lord, when he gave you a judge, he put his spirit inside this judge to rescue you from your situation. But Israel still went back, didn't he? Go ahead.
And it came to pass when the judge was dead that they returned and corrupted themselves.
And they corrupted
more than their fathers, in following other gods to serve them and to bow down unto them. They cease not from their own doing, nor from their stubborn way.
So it ain't nothing new. Man always did this. They always flip-flopped around. You know what I mean? But they see the death. Now, there's going to be a time when you leave this place. You see it. You see grandmas. You see people dying at young ages. They got to wake up. And they're going to be judged. The Bible means a bundle of books. And Revelation tell you will be judged by these books. And you in here now reaching this warning. You sit up in here, so you want to be judged by these books. The first resurrection. You don't want the white throne judgment. You know what I mean? The white throne judgment is the second resurrection. Then you're going to be judged. Did you keep the Sabbath day holy? No, I said you was a bouncer. You was here for 6 months, bounced out for 2 years, came back 3 months, bounced out for 9 months. You know, you're a bouncer. You know what I mean? So you're going to be judged by what you was doing. You just want to walk right, man. The Lord said, well, you was fighting. Yeah, you know, if it weren't for you right here, you know, like Brother Daniel said, if it weren't for you right here, come on in. Who you helped that old lady across the street? You better be lucky. I didn't have that. It was 99. It was 50 to 50. But you helped that old lady across the street that one day. It might have to be 50. You don't ever know how the Lord operates.
5149.
5149. Brother, you better have something. You better outweigh. Your good better outweigh your bad. Put it that way. That's the moral of the story. Go ahead.
Verse 20.
Yeah.
The anger of the Lord was hot against Israel. And he said, because that this people had transgressed my covenant, which I commanded their fathers, and have not hearkened unto my voice.
That ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. All right, now, I just want to show you that. You read to 23?
Oh, yeah, keep going.
Yeah, man.
I will also henceforth drive out any nation from before them out of the nation, which Joshua left when he died.
And see, it's pretty much what you're reading there is you wasn't there to get it driven out. But he said, I'll be a sanctuary wherever I should lead.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you do what he say, he would drive out your enemy from before you. So when you read these books, these stories in his books, you got to think of yourself in these stories. Go ahead.
That through them I might prove Israel.
Yeah.
Whether they will keep the way of the Lord and walk therein, and their fathers didn't keep it, or not. Therefore the Lord left those nations without driving them out hastily, neither delivered he them into the hand of Joshua.
Exactly. He didn't do either one. He just let them sit there.
Prove.
He gonna prove it. He gonna say, okay, yeah, all right. And then he already told you, I'm gonna sit on the right hand of the Father. They gonna seek me early. And that's what's happening. But a lot of them still ain't getting it, is it? Man. All right, where we at? Proverbs 19 and 19. And here's a real kicker, man. You know, we all know somebody that we help out, and we help, and we do this. And I had a family member, I ain't gonna say no name. I had a family member tell me, Well, I don't never ask for nothing. I don't. Until I wait. Why she said? Yeah, I don't never want nothing until.
I don't ask you till I want.
Yeah, I don't never ask you for nothing until I want something. I was like, what? She don't never ask me for nothing until she wants something. And she thought that was okay to say that. You know what I mean? I was like, nah, that ain't right. How you gonna ask me for something when you want something? And that's the only time you gonna talk to me. You know what I mean? So she thought it was a good thing. It was to my favor. You know what I mean? But yeah. So that's what's happening. People gonna get to you. You gonna always be helping the same ones over and over through the years. Why come they can't get themselves together? This is the question. So here go Proverbs 19 and 19. Go ahead.
A man of great wrath shall suffer punishment.
You see, because this is the person that's always mad, you notice. They're always mad, but you always help them. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
But if thou deliver him, yet thou must do it again.
The Lord said, but if you deliver him, help him out, you have to do it over and over and over. You got that uncle that you do it, your auntie, your cousin, whoever. It's just always got to deliver them over and over again. The one that needs their rod, they've been needing their rod for the last 30 years. You know what I mean? I mean, you're going to always have to help them over and over and over again. And you know, that's part of not knowing your God, right? You know what I mean? Because the Lord said you ain't never seen now one of his servants begging bread, right? You know what I mean? All right. So now, I just want to throw that into you. All right. We're going to go to John 4:22. This is the old school, I like to throw out there, but I'm really getting the worshiping in the spirit part. I'll go ahead and read what we usually read. Let's get to the end, y'all.
10 more to go.
Last say 15 more to go. Yeah, so we're going to add about 15 more, y'all. I don't never ask you for nothing unless I want something. That's crazy. That never left my mind up for years. I don't never call you unless I want something. That must be, I was like, hey, what if I call me? I love you.
That's gold right there.
I'm finna call them, I want something. Yeah. And you're going to have to deliver them over and over again. Yeah, me and my mom was discussing that the other day. I ain't never heard nothing like that, man. That's a new one on me. She thought it was righteous. You know what I mean? All right, John 4:22.
You worship, you know not what.
Yeah, you worship, you know not what. Go ahead.
We know what we worship.
We know what we worship. Go ahead.
But salvation is of the Jews.
Salvation is of the Jews. Meaning they the givers of His law. Go ahead.
But the hour coming, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit.
How you gonna worship Him?
In spirit.
No, you just holler at Him every now and then.
In spirit.
You gotta be in spirit to worship this God. Go ahead.
And in truth.
And in truth. Go ahead.
For the Father seeketh such to worship.
Because that's what He wants. He wants you to come in spirit and in truth. Don't come lollygagging because you want to come or you feel that you did something wrong, so you feel you need to slap you on the hand, so I'm going to go pray to Him real fast. No, you got to be in spirit and in truth. Go ahead, man.
God is a spirit.
Yes, sir.
And they that worship Him
must be
worship
what?
Him in spirit and in truth.
Must be in spirit and truth when you come to this God. Don't come at all. Pretend somewhere else. You understand? Right. All right. Now, let's go to 1 Corinthians 10. I'm trying to speed it up. My grandbaby getting crunk over there. So, I mean, it ain't about her being crunk, but she can be a little twisted. 1 Corinthians 10 is 6. And this is an example we was talking about earlier. And we're going to go further into detail on it. Go ahead.
Now these things were our example.
Yeah.
To the intent that we should not lust after evil things.
Right.
As they also lust.
Yeah, they did that already. Go ahead.
Neither be ye idolaters.
Yeah, that's the idolaters. You know them got them statues in your house, the Lady Guadalupe or the Lord's Supper, you know, or them angels in your house and all that type of stuff. Go ahead.
There were some of them, as it is written. The people sat down to eat and drink,